going on, everybody? Welcome back to Three Questions. It's Von Walker here, and I have another guest. Like I told y'all before, I'm changing up my environment a little bit. I'm actually digging this right now, but who knows? Maybe the next episode we'll have something different. I'm still experimenting with the look of the show. But
I
enough
like
about.
it.
Oh, you like it?
I
You
like
like it?
it.
I see. We got somebody who likes it. That's dope. But today we have Marcia Miss Fancy. How are you?
Yay.
We should put some applause in the background when you do that.
I'm great. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, this is we had to reschedule a couple of times, but I'm glad that we finally able to sit down and do it. You
I
know,
know, right? Dance is life.
dance is life, and a couple other things too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to you, because you wear multiple hats.
Absolutely.
So, welcome to Three Questions.
I know you're gonna ask more than 3 questions though.
Well, if you're familiar with the format, it is a bit more, but it's three main questions. Oh, and a bonus
Solid.
round too. All right, I got to start saying that in the beginning of my
Bonus
show.
round.
A bonus round where we'll play rock paper scissors, and if you win, you get to ask me a question, whatever you had in mind. If you even have a question, cool. If you don't, you can make up one at the end. That's fine.
Okay.
And if I win, I get to ask you a bonus question, which I do have. So, may the best rock paper scissors person
I was
win.
gonna say, not prepared.
So, question number one. Who is Marcia? Like, where you
I
from?
don't know why I laugh when people ask me that.
Like, who
I'm
are
sorry.
you? I mean, it is a little bit of a weird question, when you say, so who are you? It's like, what do you want to know? It's like, I get that question. It can be a little bit, like, vague. But that's the whole point of it, especially with this show. So, yeah. Who are
Big
you?
facts. Well, I am a dancer. I am a phenomenal woman. Come on, Maya Angelou. And I am a mental health advocate through fitness, through just all around health. And I feel like that's what encompasses Marcia. Like, if you look at my Instagram, boom, that's what I am.
Okay.
Okay, that was a great answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know there's more. I know there's more to you though. Other
I
than
don't
that,
know.
like you dance. You what else? What else you got going on? What else?
See,
What other
I do
hats?
so much. Like, I'm a model for fun.
You know what? Yeah, you
It's
are a
like, no,
model.
not for fun. It comes with the territory of dance. But I am a 3-time pageant queen winner. I was crowned 3 times.
See, that's something I didn't know. I was trying to do some research, and surprisingly, there's not a whole lot I found. That right there is actually pretty cool. So you're not just a model; you're actually accomplished. You actually won pageants and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So when was that? Was that recently, like as an adult, a teenager, or like even younger? How did that come about?
Actually both, an adult and teenager. So I was Miss District of Columbia teen twice for 2 different pageant systems, International Junior Miss and Black International. And then when I was like 22, when I was like 22, I became Miss Maryland for this other pageant system that I will not name.
Okay, well, I ain't even gonna get into that. I don't want no controversy on my show.
I want to be respectful.
Fair enough. So you say that dance and modeling goes hand in hand, which I've actually kind of seen that working with a lot of dancers. Almost all of them like do photo shoots. They model something,
Yeah.
So it really is a thing that if you're a dancer, you're kind of a model too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so was it modeling first or was it dance first for you? Like, or did it just kind of happen simultaneously? Like, soon as you started dancing, somebody said, "Hey, model for me." How did that come out?
No, actually, so dance has always been life. I've been dancing since I was 3. And then when I started getting into pageantry around age 10, that's when I started like doing runway shows. And then my mom, she started her own fashion line called Cookie Wear. And then I started modeling for her. And then from there, I started doing like more commercial work. And then I was always doing runway because I got beautiful long legs. And then, people just kept booking me after that.
Is it like I've heard there's like a height requirement when it comes
There
to
is.
runway.
Absolutely.
So how if you don't mind me asking, I mean you kind of have to put it on paper. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8", but with heels on, I'm like
Damn near 6 foot.
6 feet, 6'1".
6'1".
I could walk
like
in
5-inch heels.
Yeah, I could wear some heels. Let me
You
tell
know
you.
what?
Let me
It's
tell
funny
you.
if we can like deviate a little bit because I saw something on Instagram earlier today where there was this guy who was actually wearing heels. You know, it's always funny to see men in heels. However, if I remember correctly, I think it was a man that invented heels. So it's
It
like
was.
so I'm like
And they invented wigs.
right. So it's like is it really a problem? You know what I mean? If we just made it's so feminized. You know what I'm saying as far as heels are concerned. And let's be honest, I would honestly say that women look better in tall heels, like 4-inch, 5-inch heels. Y'all do look better than men do.
Yeah.
However, I bring this guy up because when I saw him on Instagram, he was actually teaching models how to walk one way in the heels. And I have to
Absolutely.
admit, got to give this guy credit. Like
They be doing it.
I
They
mean,
know
I
how to
can't
walk.
do it. I can't walk like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Takes
I take
practice.
my hat off to him to be able to do that. And him teaching a room full of women who are like, they were really paying attention. So like that, I think that was cool. But I say that because you said that, you brought up heels. And I just find it fascinating that women can really
Yeah.
walk in them like that. Because if I tried, I'd break an ankle. Real talk.
Well, it takes a lot of core strength and
Does
ankle
it? Is core
stability.
strength for heels?
Absolutely. Because if you don't literally suck in your gut and lift up out of the waist, you're going to topple over. And I see it happen every single day.
So that they topple over because you don't have
Oh,
core strength.
we call it like the foot flop. It's like that's when your ankles give out and your heel
Oh, yeah.
goes like,
I
and
remember
that's
seeing that
literally
one
your
time.
core just not being activated. You're not lifting up through the waist. You're not getting tall through your crown, which is the top of your head. Like, there's an art to walking in heels.
So that's where your posture comes from. Because you said it before
Absolutely.
we started rolling. You said, "Yeah, I have really good posture."
I have
And you
great
didn't.
posture because of ballet, but definitely from walking in heels as
I mean, it
well.
helped. I mean, so you did ballet. So like, posture is like everything, especially with your feet. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I've seen ballet dancers do wonders, walking on the tip of their toe. Like before I actually seen that in person, I didn't think it was possible. You can actually walk on your toes like that for a long
Yeah.
period. Yeah, you might be able to stand up real quick, but then it's like you're gonna give out. But ballet is not like that.
You
They
got to train them
really,
ankles.
yeah, that's impressive.
It is.
So you talking a lot about dance and modeling. Is there anything else because I didn't know about the modeling and the pageant. I mean, I've seen you like take pictures before, but not like runway. So I didn't know that in the pageant. So is there anything else
Yeah.
that I should know that we should know? Because I'm actually curious now.
Any what?
Anything else that we should know
Oh.
about? Like what else do you do? Are you like a mad scientist? Like
Ah,
do you do like can you have a chemistry set at home? Like what else we got going cooking over there?
no. Well, I do have my degree in public relations and English.
Okay.
That's what I went to school for. And I do have a business where I actually help artists and small businesses build their brands,
Okay.
figuring out who they are, what their core audience is, and how to actually present themselves via their promotion and packaging in order to sell themselves or their product.
Okay. So look at you. You're
Yeah,
out here doing big things. I like that. I
just a
like
little
it.
bit.
You do pageants, dance. And which brings me to the next question. Um, Pilates.
Pilates.
This is how you and I actually physically
The
met because we
Pilates body.
so this is how you and I physically met because we've kind of been back and forth on Instagram for what was it been like almost a year before we actually met up. But when
Yeah.
I saw you actually doing the Pilates, that's when I really got interested in because I'm physical. I like to think I'm fit, kind of. I don't know.
You're fit.
Okay, I'll take your word for it since I worked with you doing Pilates, and I have to tell you, real talk, Pilates is a problem. Like I was
It's
trying.
hard.
It is hard. I was trying to when you had me on that little contraption, I was I was trying hard not to show that I was struggling
It's
a little
okay.
bit. But
My boyfriend struggles too.
see, and you told me that too. It's like, yeah, man, he comes in and does it. And I was like, okay, so I can't. I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought it was a
Yeah.
girl thing, like with Pilates. You
That's
know,
a huge
do
misconception.
you have a lot of male clients?
Actually, I have a lot of males that take my classes
Yeah.
daily because we have a huge clientele. I work for Club Pilates Silver Spring in downtown Silver Spring. And even though we don't have a large male population,
Okay.
most of them be coming to my classes. And I have foundational classes, intermediate, advanced. And it's always harder for the men because Pilates really encompasses using your core and you need hip stability. And men don't really know how to engage their core strength to support their hips.
That's it's funny you say that because a lot of men, including myself, we do a lot of like core workouts. So what we would think would be core workouts, like
Hmm.
sit ups. You know, you either you do it just with body weight or with weighted. I usually do weights. I usually use the machine. I put 45s on and I'll crunch. You know,
Hmm.
and we think that's it. But you're saying that there's a lot more to that in order to be able to build that core strength.
Absolutely,
So talk
because
about
your
that.
core actually starts from your shoulders all the way down to the tops of your knees.
Mm,
So this is your whole core, not just your abs. So when you go into the gym, you're actually just like targeting one set of muscle groups at a time. Whereas in Pilates, we're working those smaller, intrinsic, everyday muscles that you wouldn't even think twice about for toning, leaning, sculpting, and getting you through your everyday functions. And
right.
when you have like that core stability and that core function, again, from the top of your shoulders all the way to your knees, your hips are right in the center. And usually men's hips are really, really tight, and that's why it's so hard for guys and they don't want to do it. Whereas women, we are basically made to give birth. So our hips are open. They're typically more flexible unless there's scar tissue buildup.
Okay.
So when we're in Pilates, we're always training the hip stability, the hip strength, because that's where a lot of the movement is going to start because that's the center of the core.
You know, the way you explain that, it's actually it makes a lot of sense because
I'm proud
I
of myself because that was a
I
good explanation.
it was. So and I didn't know this when it comes to core workouts and things like that,
Mm.
like your shoulders. You know,
Yeah.
I would go to the gym and I'll do a shoulder workout, but I don't.
Hmm.
It's usually like you said, targeting certain muscle groups. So I'm usually
Yeah.
doing a shoulder workout with dumbbells, free weights, and things like that.
Yep.
And it's literally just here, maybe a little bit of the back muscle up here, and it's not. I never think of it as engaging with like other muscles. So like
Absolutely.
using myself as an example when you were working me out because you
Hmm.
were I was sweating
I
and I
mean,
thought
I'm going to make you put that
and
work in.
I thought that I was good. You know, I was like, man, I'm going to go in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be good.
It's going
You
to be
know, it's gonna
easy.
be. I didn't think it was gonna be. I didn't say that, but I would say that I came in there with a little bit more overconfident. You know, because I am a physical person. I'm like, I'll get it,
It
and it
snaps you
wasn't.
into reality.
Yeah, it did, and we only did what an hour. So,
Yeah.
so
You
I'm
shouldn't
like,
go past an hour in Pilates, but you can.
well, you say you shouldn't go.
No, because like I said, you're working those smaller intrinsic muscles. So Pilates is a low impact functional fitness.
Hmm.
So you're training your body to be able to get through everyday things, squatting down, reaching up, things like that. If you overwork those muscles, you're going to fatigue and you'll probably like hurt yourself when you get home.
Is
So
that
we
how?
try not to go past 50 minutes.
Okay, when it comes to men like doing Pilates, like do they come in with a similar mindset that I mistakenly came in with?
Absolutely. Let me use my boyfriend, for example.
Okay,
Okay.
shout out to boyfriend.
This shout out to my boo, Justin, love you. Um, he's a basketball player and he's fit, he's muscular, he's strong. However, he does not know how to engage his core to do a lot of the intermediate advanced movements. So every time he comes up in there trying to like show off, like, yeah, I could do this, yeah, I could do this, and it just doesn't happen because you don't know where to power it from.
Hmm.
And your powerhouse is actually your belly button. So I say like a million times a week. Send your navel to your spine. That means your belly button is touching your back. You have to hollow out your
I
abs
remember you
to
saying that.
really
Yep.
help you get up if you're trying to stand up on top of the Pilates chair, or if you're trying to do control balance, or all of these other intermediate like workouts that we do daily. Um, but yeah, I mean, they all walk in there like, I got this. I'm a man.
Are they all coming in from like different sports, or you got guys that coming in that are just they're just naturally athletic? They don't really play any sports like that. They just can move. Do you have guys that come in like that, or is it you say your boyfriend plays basketball?
Hmm.
Is it mostly those types of men that come in there? I'm curious, and I'm going a little bit deeper on it when it comes to men because
For sure.
again, I really thought that it was like a female thing, just like yoga at one point. Until I actually did yoga, I had to be that was a rude awakening too, especially
Right.
hot yoga when you're really sweating and they got you all them,
Yeah.
them things. So I found I have a new appreciation for that, and now Pilates. So like, is it
Shout
is
out
it
to Pilates.
yeah? Shout out to Pilates. So is it like is it mostly athletes,
Hmm.
like the male athletes that come in, or is it just guys trying to get somewhat in shape, or is it just somebody trying to talk to women? Like, because I know that has to happen.
Actually, so my studio's membership based. We have a lot of housewives, moms, working moms, blah, blah, blah. And they actually get their husbands to come in
Oh, okay. And
and take Pilates.
that must be a hilarious.
It's something, I mean, when I say I've dealt with all kinds, from people like my boyfriend who are athletes to the ones who are just naturally gifted as far as being strong. And then I have the ones that are like pure dad bod and don't know how to use their bod.
Who like between those two types of men
Mhm.
are who's the hardest to work with?
The ones that always go to the gym. They're the hardest ones
So the
to
athletes are the hardest ones.
absolutely.
So the dad bods come in there a little bit more pliable.
Yeah, cuz I mean, they're just like, I'm here to do something new. My wife is like telling me to do it, so I'm going to do it. But then I have the athletes who are like, yeah, I'm a strong man. I work out all the time. I bench press this and I do that. And it's just like, but you can't even do the remedial things in this room because you have to have patience.
Hmm.
And Pilates is a practice. I say this every day. It's like going to class, it's like going to school. You're here to work on the technique, you're here to work on the mental because it is a mind body connection.
Right.
So if you're just like in your brain, like, this is Pilates, but I'm a man, so I could do whatever, your core, your body is not going to tap into that. Okay, they're two separate entities because in the physical, you are doing something you've never done before, like ever in your life.
Yeah.
But your brain is like, oh, this is just fitness. I do this all the time. So it's two different things happening, and you have to find the mind body connection. And it literally starts with hip mobility and breathing.
And everything you said is correct. Because when I was sitting in that machine, or I don't even know what that thing's called. What is
We
that
were
thing
on the
called?
Cadillac.
That's what it's called.
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
has a
called.
sense of humor. Why? Because when you think of Cadillac, you think of a luxury car
That's why
and
they call
driving
it the
smooth.
Cadillac.
But it's not luxury about that. I was uncomfortable. I
For
was
sure.
sweating. I was stretched out.
I mean,
And I was hurt the next day. And you was just like, okay. And you was just smiling the whole time. Do this. Like you knew it was about to happen to me.
cause I see it every day. But I mean, you did really well for a first timer. I was very impressed. And you
Oh, you
have
know, hold
more
up. Wait a
like,
minute. We got a shout out to me, man. Y'all
yeah,
heard that? We have a professional
absolutely.
telling me that I was actually good first time out. Hey,
You did really
I
well. I
appreciate
mean,
that.
your core is actually a lot stronger than I anticipated.
Uh,
But like, you weren't like one of those clients that's a know-it-all.
oh, well, I'm interested in fitness. You know,
That's good.
I really do like to sweat for the most part. You know,
Oh, you
I've
could
done.
definitely put that work in with Pilates.
Oh yeah.
And like, we go up to, I would say, I think level 4.5 or level 5. And like, that's when we're standing on the reformer. That's when we have no springs on, like, no assistance. It's just you, your body. Kind of similar to, what is that? Calisthenics?
Yeah,
but
just body weight, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's a different level of core control because if you don't control the carriage, which is the top of the reformer, you can literally just like mess your whole self
Oh yeah, nah, we want to come in there and get
up.
better. We don't want to come in there and get all injured and screwed up. Mm-mm.
And there's a huge misconception because there's different spring tensions on the reformer. There's a huge conception. Let's get it out. All right. My brain was glitching. Um,
It happens.
that the heavier the weight, the more work you're going to do. Where actually the core control comes from less weight.
Mm.
You have more assistance from springs, you have more assistance from the weights, but it's just you. Without all of the assistance, can you do the exercise?
Yeah, I mean, the technique comes from not having the assistance. Like say for instance like yoga, like if they put you in certain movements and things like that, and you don't have any, like you said, assistance, no weights, nothing like that. It's just you. You really have to get it right in order to get the best range of motion or to actually get the technique down without all of that stuff. Because sometimes that stuff can help you. Like you were saying, like the springs, I think
Hmm.
when I was using it, when you had me on them, it kind of did help a little bit. But since I was first time, I didn't really know that. It felt weird. It felt
Hmm.
like it was harder. But then there was times I was like, well, I could kind of use this a little bit to help out
Yeah.
when I was on it. So yeah, you're definitely right. The less weight or less assistance is harder. So
And
yeah,
that's when that mind got to tap in with the body. And if they don't connect, but like I said, you have to have patience with yourself because you can't perfect Pilates. So
it's like an ongoing
yeah,
thing.
that's something you'll never perfect. There's so many things in Pilates. Like, I've done a 500-hour comprehensive program, and there are hella things that I still haven't perfected.
500 hours?
Yeah, because we have different apparatus. So I had you on the Cadillac, but then there's the reformer, there's a Pilates chair. I had to learn all of mat Pilates. Like,
Dude,
there's
you are
all
blowing my
of
mind
it.
right now. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know it was that much. I didn't
Hmm.
know. That's
The
crazy.
Pilates Tower. And just so y'all know, Pilates was actually invented by a man, Joseph Pilates.
He
And
named it after himself.
yeah, but
Joseph
like
Pilates. Y'all hear that?
he
Yo.
was like a genius though. So the reformer is actually modeled after a hospital bed because he was actually really sick growing up and he
Mm.
had to work out while he was in the hospital to stay mobile because he was bedridden. He had like a couple of diseases, but he would also do physical therapy with Army veterans and active Army people to help get them back into war.
He kind of invented it out of necessity to get
Hmm.
back into shape, to
Yeah.
get back in on his feet. You know what I mean? That's
That's why it's all
yeah,
about core because he didn't have a lot of assistance,
right.
but like we have like the straps and things to help you when you're like coming out of a rollback, you're rolling up at that time, or doing a chest press, like all kinds of things. Like everything you do in the gym, you actually can do on the reformer. It's just different.
Hmm. So based off of everything that you were saying when it comes to Pilates, it'll for athletes, it would actually benefit them to practice Pilates at some
Absolutely.
point. You know, not just going to the gym weightlifting or practicing their given sport or whatnot, but to actually take on Pilates just to keep the core straight. Because you're right, like the core is it's an important thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
without it, a lot of other things don't work.
No,
So
your
so yeah.
body will break down bit by bit
Hmm.
without the core strength. But athletes do and should do Pilates. So LeBron James, he actually does Pilates.
Yeah.
Um,
I heard he spends $1 million on his body a year.
yeah, he
That
does Pilates. He
he
has
must
his
have to.
own machine. He
Yeah,
had to like get one custom made
because he's
because
big.
he's so tall. There's actually a lot of football players that do Pilates because it helps with the flexibility and mobility of the ankles.
Yeah.
And it helps the body prepare to take that impact so like you can recover faster whenever you get tackled or like just like ransacked. I don't know what you guys call it, but
From where I'm from, it's just getting handled.
indeed.
Getting handled.
Yeah, so I always encourage athletes to do Pilates because it is a physical therapy. So you will, one, recover faster, but when you work out, all of the weights are like actually compressing your muscles in your joints. And that's why you all don't have the flexibility and range of motion. So, Pilates actually provides you with the stretch, the flexibility, and the core strength so that you can support the flexibility. Because you can't be strong, or let me say this, you can't be flexible and not be strong.
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say
can't
that.
be flexible and not have the core strength.
Right. I was gonna say because it's like, when you're actually flexible. Like when I stretch, then I lift weights and then
Hmm.
stretch again. It feels like I've actually increased in some strength at some point. Like it's not
Yeah.
like you just lift and then you just put the weights down. But when you stretch before going in and you do a stretch afterwards, the next
Yeah.
day for me personally, I do feel stronger. So the
Absolutely.
stretch, you're not. Yeah, that's absolutely that's a thing. You're right. Like,
It is a
because I
thing.
definitely feel it after a workout.
For sure. And like I'm not a Pilates like expert. I've only been doing Pilates for 2 years, but
I mean, with
I
500 hours having to deal with that, I mean, you damn near expert to me. Sheesh.
I do take class probably like 4 to 5 times a week,
Hmm.
and it does help a lot as far as a dancer.
Yeah,
It
that was gonna
does
be the
help a
next.
lot.
That's the next question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You're going right into it. I'll just ask it now because I
For sure.
actually um I mismatched my questions. The question I asked you, the second one was supposed to be number three. So now I'll
Okay.
ask you the actual number two question, which is now number three.
Sure.
When it comes to dancing Pilates, right? Which do you prefer? Like as far as like doing, which one do you find most beneficial for your spirit? Like how does it make you feel when you do Pilates or when you dance?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
stuck.
I'm
I'm
surprised I
stuck.
got them like the order mixed up. But yeah, that's the question.
That's a
Which
good
one
one.
feeds your spirit more? Because right now you talked, but it was I kind of led you into it because I asked a lot of questions when it comes to Pilates, mainly because I'm really
Hmm.
interested in it, and I've actually experienced it.
Hmm.
Um, but seriously though, dancing or Pilates, which one feeds you the most?
Let's see. Dance.
Dance.
Dance is my first love.
Okay. I mean, you started at 3, so
Yes.
yeah.
Dance is literally my life. I teach it, I perform it, I choreograph it. And as soon as I turn on music, my brain is like in dancer mode every single time. I'm never not in dancer mode. But it's just when you're on stage and you're performing for people and you're just doing what you love and bringing smiles and joy, it's just
There's really no comparison.
like wow,
Yeah.
And I do love to perform for people. Like I've been doing this forever, so I love big crowds. Um, However, Pilates has really helped me with my mental health. Um, I actually had a really bad dance injury where I actually lost the ability to walk.
Really?
Yeah, my nerves got super damaged by these girls that stepped on my foot during
Oh,
the
okay. I was gonna ask,
showcase.
like, how did that happen? Like,
Hmm.
so, well, how big was the girl that stepped on your foot? I mean,
It was three
damn.
girls.
So all three of them was like, huh.
Pretty much. So we were doing this jazz dance at the Atlas Theater, and I had just recovered from Achilles tendonitis.
Oh wow.
It was my first show after recovery, and then one after another, we were just like in this X, and it was like boom, step 3 times, and yeah,
Did they have to
they.
stop the show and carry you
Oh
off,
no,
or?
I finished the show, almost cried at the end, but I was like, let me hold back these tears because I'm strong or whatever. But as soon as I was done with that dance, I called my mom and I was like, you have to pick me up now. Because the next day I woke up and like it felt like my nerves were on fire. Like you couldn't touch my legs or anything
Ouch.
because it would make my nerves the pain sensors just overreact. So to this day, I actually have nerve damage. It's called RSD, reflex sympathetic dystrophy. So I was injured in my feet. It was bilateral, so both feet. And the pain sensors or receptors, they will fire off and actually shoot pain to other parts of my body. So like my back or my hip
And
or
that happened when you tried to take a step, when you tried to walk. It would do that, or it just wouldn't even let you do it. Wouldn't even
oh
let you
no,
walk.
like I actually was not able to walk when this first happened. And I was in physical therapy for like a whole year.
Mm.
And then I actually used dance to learn how to walk again and to learn how to dance again, of
You use
course.
dance, or was it Pilates?
I used
Dance
dance.
to learn. How, okay, okay,
I
okay.
recently used Pilates to help with my PTSD
Oh, okay.
because sometimes I do get triggered before going on stage, and I'm just like, I'm around all these people. If somebody step on my foot, I'm gonna go crazy. And I'm still working through that, even though this happened when I was like 22, 23. It still kind of affects me mentally. I mean, I deal with it every day.
Mm.
So, yeah, Pilates just helps me calm my mind. Pilates is a great way to release endorphins um, and to stimulate some kind of chemical that's released in the brain when you suffer from PTSD or depression. I forget the chemical. But basically, it just calms you down. So, dance feeds my soul, but Pilates keeps my mental health in check.
Oh, I like how you put that. That's so because so they work in tandem to keep you grounded. They work in tandem to keep your spirit
Absolutely.
up. Um,
As soon as I start crying, I gotta take class. I
wow,
gotta go take Pilates class.
get
And
it
then by
stretched
the
out.
end, yeah, by the end, I'm like, cool, I'm back to normal.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I mean, physical fitness for a lot of people, it's it's definitely a mental thing.
hmm
Like I know for myself, and I would probably argue for a lot of like men, like we deal with a lot of different stresses,
absolutely.
and I'm seeing that more so now because a friend of mine, he has a podcast too, Let's Get Real podcast, which kind of goes in on that. They talk about a lot of mental health and some of the guests that he's had on. Shout out to Jamal Hutchinson. Like the guests that he's had on, they talk about it, and sometimes hitting the gym helps you out. Like as far as
Absolutely.
clearing out some of the stress,
Yeah.
um,
The
even
endorphins you
yeah,
release is top tier.
yeah. So like working out, I mean, just working out, whatever floats your boat, Pilates,
Yeah.
gyms. But I would argue definitely incorporate some Pilates.
I think
Like for
everyone should
real.
do
It's
it.
it's 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 official. like
And
yeah.
it's literally for everyone. I
Mhm.
actually have a few clients that have had hip replacements, back surgery. They have like metal rods in their back. And when I say it's literally for everyone, I have one lady who's like 80 years old
And she's
and
doing it.
she has no shoulder mobility. But
Oh
she said, I'm not going to get I'm not going to get surgery, so I'm here. And she comes to my class every Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
wow.
So like when I see people like her, I'm like, there's no excuse.
Yeah. No excuse at all. She's putting in work. I
But
know
I
she's
do
putting in work.
encourage, I do encourage everyone to do Pilates, or if not, just try it. Like one time, see if you like it, see if you don't. But most people end up enjoying Pilates because the challenge is different. It's a, it's not your everyday like, let me go to the gym and just work on my glutes. Like this is a
Hmm.
full body workout, and you
Right.
can change your whole body, ladies, with Pilates. You can get the sculpt, the tone, the lean, whatever.
What you call me
But
when we finish? You said, "Oh yeah, I gotta stay snatched."
yeah,
It's like,
I gotta stay snatched. I mean, I'm in a crop top like
yeah.
90% of the time.
Well, I mean, yeah. As a dancer too, so y'all have to stay fit, So
Yes,
outside of just movement, as far as choreography, so
absolutely. But if you wanna preserve your body, Pilates is definitely something you want to incorporate into your workouts. I'm not saying that's the only thing you have to do. Personally, that's the only thing I do because I don't like going to the gym. But for For the people that do like to go to the gym and want to keep the gym, Pilates is a great way to just add in the sculpting, the leaning, the toning, or just being able to do everyday things like your knees will stop hurting, your back will stop hurting, your hips will stop hurting because we're training the total core, like the core in its entirety. We call it the powerhouse to help you get through those daily functionalities and the daily pain. That
So
was a great answer.
it was. Clap it up for you. Clap it up for you.
I'm really doing it.
You are selling Pilates.
I mean, I
So
do it every day.
yeah. So we've come to the end of my questions, except for the bonus round,
Okay,
where we play rock paper scissors.
cool.
Is there like a way that you play rock paper scissors?
Rock, paper,
No, I'm
scissors.
saying when you do it, rock paper scissors
Oh.
shoot, or is it rock paper scissors says shoot? I say says shoot. Every time I ask somebody that, they say, "What do you mean says?" Rock paper scissors says shoot. That's how I do it. Is that you not familiar with that?
I ain't never heard that a day
Are
in
you
my life.
okay? So I'm so maybe it's me. I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
sorry.
it's me. So we'll do it your way.
I'm just like really tickled by this. Rock, paper, scissors says
Shoot.
shoot.
Yeah, I know it's like an extra step before you actually throw out whatever, but that's I've always done it
No,
that
it's
way.
just rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock paper scissors shoot.
Yup.
That just seems so like plain.
I feel like you just have, by saying says shoot, you can think about it. Like, no, just go.
So just jump in there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it that way.
Okay,
Now I have to warn you. I haven't lost.
that's crazy.
I keep winning. So actually, hold on. Do you have a question that you want to ask me?
No.
No. Damn.
I didn't know that I
I know.
had to.
I usually wait till my guest comes in to kind of break that because I do want the question to be kind of spontaneous.
Okay.
If you do happen to have one, and usually I've actually had one guest, well, two guests now, that had a question and asked me anyway because I want to ask.
What was the question? For
Well, one
example?
question was what book am I reading now?
That's a good one.
And
I'm looking for a good book to read.
yeah, she was a reader, so
Preferably fiction.
fiction. I see. That's the thing. I don't really do fiction like that. I do a lot of knowledge-based books. Like if I'm gonna get something,
Oh,
or
you're
learn
like
something.
a serious person.
Yeah,
Well, I
okay.
also do like self-help books.
Self-help books are cool too. That's I consider that knowledge-based.
Like
You know?
there's this one book I like called Unfuck Yourself. I don't know if I can say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfuck Yourself. Like he has a whole series. It's
Is it
so
the same
good.
guy that has a book called Unfuckwithable?
Maybe.
Because that sounds
That
like
sounds
he.
good.
That sounds like
I'm
he
gonna
said
buy that one.
He said, "Yeah, how to become unfuckwithable." And I was like, "Whew."
That might be
Bars. I
because
was
like he has like a whole series about that.
Yeah, I didn't know. What, I learned about that guy like a while ago, but I don't. Maybe he does have a series. I don't know. I'll have to look it up now.
Read it.
But yeah, the
Read
other
it.
question was she asked me, another guest. She asked, "Why am I doing this?" You know, and then it's
Dang,
kind
that's
of
a good
like
one.
it was, and then my answer was, well, hold on. You want to know the answer?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
So
intrigued.
so the answer that I gave her was that I wanted to build content and I wanted to leave something behind, like a legacy or whatnot, a part of the legacy. This is not
Period.
just the only thing that I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
because when we met, it wasn't about the podcast at first. You know, it was about
Mm-hmm.
filming something else entirely different.
I mean, I
So-
still want to get my videos done.
Oh no, we still gonna do that. We still gonna work. That's not going. We definitely gonna do that. But this was just another avenue for me to actually have something of myself that's out there.
For
Because
sure.
who knows? You may take off in whatever chosen field, you know, and then
True.
somebody sees this interview. Wow, that's how she looked 10 years ago. She
I'ma
still
still look
snatched.
the
I was about to
same.
say she still snatched. She ain't changed a bit. It's been
I
10
mean-
years. Things like that, and I think that's cool. I think people could say the same thing for me too. In 10 years, let's see how I look. You know what I mean?
Also, black does not crack, but
Yeah, I would say some black has cracked, but when you do Pilates or you work or you take care of yourself, you know, yeah,
you gotta release the endorphins, people.
yeah, stay happy, keep smiling, you know. All right, you ready?
All right.
All right, so we're doing rock paper scissors shoot.
Yes.
Okay,
If you say so, shoot.
I'm not.
I'm gonna walk out. Okay.
Rock paper. Oh my God, every time. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Oh,
Okay,
that was a good
okay,
one.
that was good. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Hey,
That's crazy.
I won again.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know, this is Von
I
Walker over here.
usually win.
This is Von
Okay,
Walker.
but it's okay.
All right, so this is not really a crazy question. Um, what's the future for you? Like, do you plan on, because you do classes, you
Mhm.
teach. It seemed like you like teaching,
I
so, you know.
do.
So,
I actually took a personality test and it said that that was like my main personality
really?
trait, and I never knew that.
Wow. Well, look at that. I mean, when you kind of making me go through the motions, it was pleasant. You wasn't like just do it. Just that you kind of like okay,
Oh, no, no.
you was definitely pleasant to, work with.
Oh, thank you
Um,
so much.
so
Book me.
yeah. Oh, before we get done, make sure you look in that camera and you tell people what's up. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But so the question is like, what's the future? Like, what do you see yourself doing? Do you see yourself continuing what you're doing now?
Mhm.
Um, or morphing it, incorporating more things. You do dance, you do Pilates, but are you incorporating anything more, or you kind of like where you're at? You're just gonna make some incremental improvements over the years.
Oh, that is so good. Okay, well, actually, I have another business, and it's a cosmetics line, and it's
Okay.
called Honest Beauty,
Okay.
and it's the original soft glam, the original Miss Fancy, if you want to see what I did there. And that stems from my pageant training and my pageant experience. It was always about being soft, being elegant, being glamorous. So that is what my brand is about, the soft glam. And my main focus is women, black women. There's a lot of companies, sorry, that's my phone.
Oh.
There's a lot of brands and companies that don't target all skin tones for black women except for Rihanna,
Yeah, I was gonna
Fenty.
say she's the only one that comes to mind that
Yeah.
it's like a direct thing. I'm pretty sure some other
Mhm.
companies made it's like an afterthought, but when
Yeah,
she came out with her line, it was like this is a main priority,
absolutely.
and I always thought that was dope. So if you the more she can't be the only one doing it.
Right?
So if anybody else comes in the mix and start doing it, I think you would be a welcome addition.
I would hope so. I mean, of course, I'm going to include like all skin tones,
Yeah.
but I really want to focus on black women and Latino women. My family is part Dominican, so shout out to the Dominican Republic. But just being in my family, we're all different skin tones. I'm the lightest one, and my
Mm.
older sister, she's actually the darkest. She's
Wow.
chocolate. And I've actually seen her experience racism. I've experienced myself being the light skinned hope of the family only because I'm light skinned.
Light
So,
skin hope.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's what's when you like light skinned and pretty or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but
Whatever.
still, I'd never heard the light skin hope.
Yeah.
I've heard variations of that, but the light skin hope, that's crazy.
Yes. So I came up with Honest Beauty. One, honest and goddess come together. You're an honest goddess. And that's where the name Honest Beauty comes from. Soft glam, I feel every woman deserves to be beautiful. Every woman deserves to be soft. She is allowed to feel empowered just through her beauty. And when you don't feel beautiful, that's not going to radiate through. So I'll have cosmetics, I'll have skincare, and then I'll also have a men's line called Honest Men coming out after that, and that's gonna be like more like skincare and beard care for men.
Okay.
Um, but that's one legacy I'm gonna leave behind. My first legacy is to have my own dance studio. I've been wanting to have a dance studio in the DC area.
Okay.
I'm originally from Uptown DC. And the only studio that I feel really gave me a great experience was the Dance Institute of Washington. And that's owned by Fabian Barnes, who has passed. But it was a great experience for me as a black dancer to be around other black women, other black dancers, just being a part of the community because I grew up in a white studio first.
Mm.
And it was just like when the body starts to develop and stuff, you start looking different. People don't know how to make dance for you.
Right.
And so I was able to learn that at DIW, and I want to provide that for more African American dancers. And then I also want to include Pilates into my curriculum just so that people understand the benefits of Pilates and dance and how we can possibly be dancing until we're about 60 if we really take care of our bodies.
Right. Well, that's dope. Look at
That's my
you,
answer.
man. You seem like you thought about that.
I
A
mean,
while.
yeah. I
Yeah.
talk about it like every day.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, I appreciate you coming by. 3 questions and hanging out with
Thank
me.
you for having me.
Yeah. Maybe I'm curious. Like we'll circle back in a year or two, see how things are
Hey,
going,
I'm down.
and yeah, by that time I'll probably have a set environment because I'm still experimenting, man. I'm like, I
This
want
is
this here, I want
nice.
this here.
Simple is always better.
To a degree, sometimes simple can just be boring, and I
I
don't want it to
mean,
be boring.
as long as the aesthetic is fine, but like, you don't want everything to be like all
Like a bunch of stuff, just
glammed
stuff.
up and stuff, and then it just like looks weird. Like,
Okay.
this just looks like a mess. But this is like nice, simple, elegant, and like my brain doesn't feel cluttered.
You know what? I appreciate that. So when I still experiment, I'll keep it minimal,
Yeah,
minimalistic. That's kind of how I live my
minimalism.
life anyway, minimalistic anyway. So I guess this kind of matches my personality.
Yeah,
So
there you
that
go.
that works out.
You want to stick it to you, stick it to yourself.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, I appreciate you coming by. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you
Make
for
sure you tell
having
the
me.
people where to find you at. Make sure that's your camera right there. Make sure where to find
This
you.
one.
Yep, that one.
Okay. You can find me on Instagram at that's the original underscore Miss Fancy, MS Fancy. Okay. The original Miss Fancy. I always have a top tier headshot. And then you'll also be able to like book me for Pilates and dance and modeling through there. You can also follow my beauty brand at Honest Beauty, and that's HONESS Beauty.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Oh, Pilates. Oh,
Oh yeah.
one
Oh,
more thing.
one more thing.
You can find me at Club Pilates in Silver Spring. That's downtown Silver Spring, on 956 Thayer Avenue. And you can book an intro class and come do your first 30 minutes of Pilates with me.
Appreciate you.
Yay!
All right.
That was amazing.
Marcia, Miss Fancy.
You gotta put the clapping hands on
I'ma put
this,
yeah, I gotta
the
put some
sounds.
applause.
Oh no, the bum 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 bum. I love that
What?
sound.
That doesn't even fit. That doesn't even fit.
I just feel like in my brain, that's like always the sound that's going off in my brain. Like,
Wow.
pew pew pew
The
pew.
alarm out of nowhere. So nah, I don't know if I'm gonna do I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But we're
I
gonna throw
love that
something in there,
sound.
some applause. I think it calls for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you again for coming by.
Thank you for having
Marcia,
me.
Miss Fancy.
Period.
Deuces. Until the next one. 3 questions, we out.